Jim Lynn here, welcome to episode 6 of Mr. Lynn's Workshop. Well, if you've got your brew, we'll get started. Last time we marked up one of the main spars with all the dimensions we need on it, and we've just got out the other main spar, the fresh one. If you can look top centre there, you'll see a blemish circled. It's important that stays on the bottom. So we're trying to make, we're clamping them both together here so that we can transfer the markings from the one on the left to the one on the right. Anthony's holding it whilst I get the clamp. We're trying to get the ends matched up and the tops matched up because that's where we're going to be doing all the marking. Of course, you can see also in this scene that the kebab box is perfectly placed in azimuth, I think about 270 degrees with about maybe 20 degrees pitch down attitude there. Obviously very correct. There's me getting another clamp on the middle, and at the far end we've got the professional rubbish bin support system, as you can clearly see there. And now we've got the little saddle squares from Veritas, and I'm just transferring them across, and Anthony's following up with a longer one to bring the markings down onto the other side. So we'll end up with two boards that are what's called book matched, which means they're kind of like mirror images, and you can see here as we open them up again the markings are now kind of opposite. So that's logic, isn't it? Because one's going to be the left wing, one's going to be the right wing. So they need to be opposites. Now Anthony's lengthening the marks with a big square. I'm taking the adjustable square here, and the marking that I'm lining that up with is for one of the holes where the compression struts go. And I'm just taking that dimension, and then I'll hand it to Anthony, and then he'll go off marking that for all the places where we have compression struts. I think it's about 6 on each side, and I'm taking another dimension for the other hole, and then we'll go and finish up with that. So what we end up with is all the marks. You can see there, compression strut. This is the left hand end, this is in the middle, there's transitions, and there's also marks for doublers, and at the end we've got the tapers, the end of the wing taper marked out here. And this is that was the rear spars. Now we're going to move the workbench so we can start to do some planing, and as you can see we move it into this position, and then of course we have to stand back and assess the situation. And it's important to move the professional bin about 300 millimeters and have a discussion about it, and make sure Anthony doesn't get his toes jammed. And then he comes along, makes a few decisions, obviously playing by the book here, and then we just move it back again because it was obviously where it was in the correct place in the first place. And then of course we decide that the workbench was in the correct place in the first place, so we move that back as well. Complete waste of time there. Now I've clamped one of the boards, one of the main spars on, and I'm making a secondary mark to saw to. You can see the Skelton long hand saw there that I've got. I've got two of them. I've got a rip saw and a crosscut saw. Also got two tenon saws, one of each, and a dovetail saw. Absolutely first class saws. Unless you've tried one, you don't know what a real saw is like. So this is what I'm going to use just to take off most of the bulk of this waste here. Just pushing forward to start your saw. Remember, you push forward to start a saw, don't drag back like you see a lot of people doing, and then you can just carry on sawing. Now I'm also using my forefinger here to stabilize the blade, and reaching further out to stabilize the blade. It just stops that rattling sensation that you sometimes get when you're sawing, which is caused by resonance. But it's a truly excellent saw, this. So I'm just taking off the rest of the waste. Two-handed grip there, you get a good push. Once the blade is fully into the kerf, you can do that. If you do it before then, you risk twisting unless you really know what you're doing. So got the hold fast there, just trying to get them out. A bit stubborn, this one. And we'll move the board further out so that we can continue the cut. Hold fasts are absolutely excellent. This is why workbenches are full of holes, actually, so you can get them on. I got these quite a few years ago now from Gramercy Tools in New York. I think they're somewhere in Brooklyn, don't quote me on that. It's quite close to where the Queen Mary 2 leaves, as it happens. And we've left New York on the Queen Mary 2 there, from there going to Southampton for our 10th anniversary in 2012. We'll be no more of that kind of stuff with the company I flew for having gone bust, taking most of my pension money with it. But hey ho, you know, it's only money, who cares? So just slowing down the cut and supporting the offcut, and of course it's obligatory to take a big chunk out the workbench when you finish the cut, otherwise you're not a real carpenter, are you? Now we've done both of the main spars here, and you can see the saw leaves a little bit of a raggedy edge there. So I'm just taking the Nielsen block plane, adjusted it, and Anthony's holding it whilst I just trim those sides. It's not really necessary to do this. I just believe in taking the time to prep each surface as you go along. It just makes it that bit easier for the number 5.5 Nielsen to land properly on that tapered slope there. Also, you'll notice that I've used a large saw to cut away the waste, leaving quite a bit shy of the line, probably 5-7 millimeters, something like that. The reason for that is that we didn't want to cut too close to that line, because this wood's extremely expensive and we're getting one go at this. So the big saw, whilst it's very good, is a coarse tool, and we risked maybe the odd split or something like that, I don't know, possibility. So we thought we'll leave a bit of space. Better to take more time with the Nielsen 5.5, which is a medium to fine tool. It will take longer to do, but we'll guarantee that we get a good result.
Piece of wood again.
I tell you what, let's use a piece of wood like that. Here. Yeah.
Would you be better pinning one from this side so that it's kind of...
Oh, no, that doesn't go right the way through. What does?
That's only a thought. Then you're kind of pulling it from...
Yeah, right, is that stable? That's what I need. Right, let's see what happens.
Are those just screwdrivers?
Yeah. Take a bigger cut.
You need me to hold it?
Yeah, I'll take a lesser cut. Now that it's gone full width, it's getting tougher.
Yeah.
So I'll just back it off a bit.
Yeah.
See how far out it is.
Oh yeah.
Back off to about there. And try and get the blade centred.
Need good eyesight for this.
It kind of just has a little black line. Yeah, that's fine. Right.
Yeah.
Got it?
Oh, yeah.
That's close to where we need to start thinking about squareness. Yeah.
That's lovely, Jim.
Oh, that's so nice. How's that doing?
bad.
It's slightly high in the right. Go. So I start here. Move over a bit. There we go. Start here. Move in. That's not bad. Yeah, good. Right, we'll just sneak up in the line. I'm going to back it off.
Just taking a finer cut now.
Yeah.
I still don't quite see how you use a plane to cut a chamfer on the ends, but I'm learning.
What do you mean, this angle?
Yeah, this angle at the bottom.
Well, if I had to adjust it, let's say it was too shallow.
Yeah.
What I'd do would start take a bite,
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
Assess it.
Bite.
And closer bites to get steeper, shallower, further apart bites to
Right.
get shallower. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So.
On the lines.
What's your tolerance? It doesn't have to be. Just leave a bit of the line in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then full sharing.
Spot on.
Perfect.
That is perfect. Good.
Good.
And it stops right
Yeah.
at the transition.
Good. Now we'll do this end.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll meet up on the other side. Yep, hang on.
Excellent.
Right, so we've got to take this down.
Yeah.
And that down to there. Right, so that needs coarse again. Make sure it's centred. Right, try that, see if it's enough. So my angle has got to be about there. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So if I do put it down and do that.
Right.
And then work my way up, so about there. That's too tight a cut, that's why. Now it's jamming. So I've got that too thick
Okay.
for the mouth. So take it off a bit. Okay, let's see. Right, then I'll just start going.
Still a little bit higher
In the middle.
in the middle.
That's getting there.
It's getting there. It's very close.
I'll make it slightly hollow and that'll make sure. Get back off a bit now.
It's getting a lot closer. That's very close now.
Right, it's almost parallel, is it?
Yeah, it's almost parallel.
There's still more meat at this end. Yeah, a little bit more work here.
looking nice.
So front pressure, back pressure.
Yeah.
Front pressure, back pressure. That line's gone, that line's going. So I need to bias it from here, like that. That's going a little bit from here. Now just a couple from the top. Just a bit there.
Yeah. It's looking pretty good.
A couple more here. That's it. Right.
Excellent.
Done.
Done.
Well, that didn't take too long, I reckon about half an hour or so. We finished the double tapers on the main spars. They're actually on the underside, so we turned them upside down and finished the short taper on the top. Then we have got out the rear spars, which are narrower boards, and so there's only a double taper on the underside of the rear spars. As you can see in this position, they're upside down for working on. And we're just finishing that off now, and we're getting a good finish on it. Again, about maybe 20-25 minutes to get this down on the rear spars.
That's really nice, Jim.
Okay,
Yeah.
done for the day.
Done for the day. Bit of tidying up to do, and
Yeah,
I'm sorted.
do that later. Well, that's it for episode 6, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back for episode 7, where Anthony and I will be using a large Lee Nielsen router plane and a skew block plane to cut some rebates. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.